are gonna fail. I just want to say that up front, okay? Because the statistics are not on your side, okay? But before we go any further, who's comfortable? Who's ready to get started? Just give me a yes, because this is going to be totally different to anything you've ever seen or heard before, and it's going to help you get the result you actually want. So Kim says yes, Linda says yes. Who else is ready? We have Dimona, we have Willie, we have Linny. Um, who else is ready to rock and roll? All right, lots of you. Dean says yes. Who else? All right, looks like it's going to be a full house here. So make sure now that you're here, you stay here. All right. So like I said, most of you watching this are either failing or are gonna fail. All right, because 97% of people who try to make money online, all right, never have a single profitable month, a week, or even a day. Okay, they spend thousands of dollars, you waste, months, if not years, and you end up staying in the same spot that you started in with. All right. Now, if you want someone to tell you, you need to meditate, you need to, have a special routine, and, you need to think positive thoughts, then you're in the wrong room, okay? Because this is not that type of environment. You want to, close this window, because what we're going to be talking about is how the 3% that win actually win. All right. Now you can see right here, um, the actual proof, okay? Because the proof is what you are probably wondering. Where is it? Okay, because $1,000 payments is a big claim. Now, who can see the $1,000 payments right there coming in one after another um, on the actual recording of the phone screen? Who can see that? Just give me a one if you can see that. And more importantly, type in a two if you would like that to happen for yourself. Yes? Who can see that, folks? Yep, lots of twos coming in, lots of ones coming in. Okay, so these are real sale notifications, real amounts. The same system is the system that's causing this to happen for everyone that's using it. All right. Now, this is not a paycheck. This is not salary. This is not a reward for grinding or hustling. And the reason why this is possible is because this is what happens when you have a system running 24/7, and there's people all over the internet, visiting that particular product and buying it and buying that system. That's the result of the system. Okay, so let's continue. So, this system runs, while you literally sleep, while you eat, while you're at the gym, while you're hanging out with friends, family. It just runs consistently. And the person who got these payments, did absolutely nothing once the system is set up. So, you didn't build anything, you didn't post anything, you didn't sell anything, you didn't run a single ad, but the money was moving anyway. All right. Now, people that tell you you need to hustle, you need to grind, the hustle is a lie, and it's literally designed to keep you busy while the people at the top quietly collect the money. Now, I'm not talking about tech geniuses. I'm not talking about famous people with millions of followers. I'm not talking about people who have been doing this for like a decade or so. All right. I'm talking about normal, common people, people who've tried and failed, people who have almost given up, yet they were able to break through. Okay. Without tech skills, without a following, without experience, without any special talent. All right. Now, why is it working for them and not for you? Who has that question? Who's thought of that before? Who's thought, why is it working for so and so, and why is it not working for me? Because today I'm going to answer that exact question. And I do warn you, because it might, frustrate some of you. But who's asked that question to themselves before? Why is it working for them? Why is it not working for me? Where am I going wrong? What am I doing wrong? I'm buying all the same products. I'm, watching all the trainings, and I'm setting up all the funnels and building pages, building products, building audiences, yada, yada, yada. But I'm still not getting any results. All right. Now, the answer is going to make you angry, because it's not your fault. And once you understand why, everything's going to make, sense to you, and everything's going to fall into place. Now, if this is you, if you work all day, you put the kids to bed, you open the laptop, and you sit there, until the early hours of the morning, until your eyes are literally burning, and you ask yourself, is this ever going to work for me? What's wrong with me? If that was you, and if that is you, then, the good news for you is I was in the same place and I was able to break through. But you want to picture yourself. 1 year from today. And I want you to actually see this, okay? Every day you sit there wondering, another day of your life slips by. You picture yourself um, in the exact same space, in the exact same place you are right now. All right. Um, and unless you fix this right now, you're going to be stuck here for a long time. And I'm talking about, the same alarm clock every day, the same commute, same boss, same jobs. I had two jobs, the same empty bank account, the same money argument with your partner, the same Sunday evening dread where you're feeling, oh my God, I'm going to have to wake up tomorrow, go to work. Um, then, you're going to be stuck in this trap. And nobody has shown you how to get out of this trap, which has been cleverly designed. And it's not because people don't want to show you, it's because, well, I'm jumping a bit ahead. We're going to get into that in a moment, but you haven't been able to exit this trap, not because you're not smart enough, not because you're not working hard enough, not because you're not investing enough money. Okay. The reason why you're stuck in a trap is because no one's shown you how to escape it. All right. But today I'm going to show you how you can escape it very easily. All right. I'm going to show you three secrets that are going to allow you to escape this trap. Three secrets that changed my life, three secrets that will hopefully change yours. Okay. Now, the first thing I'm going to go through is how you can bypass what I call the builder's tax. Okay. Whereby you can make $1,000 payments without building things. So who's constantly tried to build something before? Have you tried to build a course? Or maybe you've tried to build a funnel, or maybe you've tried to build an audience, or maybe you've tried to build an opt-in page, or you've tried to build an email list. Who's tried to build something before? And this is one of the main things that keeps people, especially beginners, firmly stuck when you're trying to build something. Like who's tried to build something before? Let me know in the chat. Yep. Terrence says I've tried to build an audience, tried to build an email list. Linda says I've been there. Yep. Mike says yes, exactly. The next secret that we're going to show you is how you can get results without an audience and without having crazy technical ability. Because a lot of us tell ourselves this internal story that we need to have, some genius level technical skills, or we need a gigantic audience of, 1 million people to make any money online. But the truth is, you don't need to code, you don't need to have a degree in rocket science or computer science or rocket surgery. You don't need followers, you don't need to have a massive audience. And not having an audience is actually a mathematical advantage. And we're going to show you that in a bit. Okay. Secret three, we're going to show you a brand new AI, okay, a platform, if you like, that gets you all the free traffic that you want without spending a penny on ads, without showing your face on camera. And nobody is really doing this in the way that we're going to show you on this presentation live here tonight. Okay. So before we get into the three secrets, I want to show you and tell you about this dirty little secret, all right, about this whole industry. Who's ready to hear about the dirty little secret about the industry that we all love so much and about this industry that we're all trying to get into, we're all trying to crack the code, and we're all wondering, why doesn't it work for me? Why? What's that missing piece? What's that missing secret? What's that one thing they're holding back from me? Okay, who wants to know the dirty little secret? Because there is a dirty little secret, and the dirty little secret, folks, is as follows. So let's dive in. Now, you all have that thing, right? That folder of shame, whether it's on your desktop, um, or whether it's on your computer, or whether it's in your inbox, that folder. The folder whereby, you have all these logins to all these courses and products that you've tried, whether it's drop shipping, Amazon, Etsy, YouTube, affiliate marketing, TikTok, print on demand, software, apps, courses, yada, yada, yada. Who's tried some of these things before? Give me a one. Because after all that time and all that money and all of that hope, what do you actually have to show for it? Let's walk through just one of those things here together in a moment because I want to show you what really happens, okay? In a second here. Okay, so lots of you saying one. All right, cool. So let's continue. All right. So after all that money and hope, you have nothing to show for it. And we're going to take drop shipping as an example. And before ever seeing a single bit of money with drop shipping, okay, you have to generally build a store. Okay. You have to find products. You have to write descriptions. You have to build Facebook ads. You have to set up a payment processor. You have to figure out shipping. All right. You have to do more work than most people do in a full-time job. All right. And none of those activities generate any revenue. Not one of those. They are all prerequisites to actually making money. And you are literally paying with your time, your energy, your sanity, just for the opportunity to maybe make a sale later on. All right. Um, Now, the data shows that 94% of beginners quit during the builder's tax phase. This is where you're literally building and building and building. They never even make it to the part where, the money changes hands because the building part is so exhausting, right? Who agrees with me? Who agrees that building things, as fun as it might sound initially, it can be really exhausting. It can be mentally taxing. It can be a whole it can be a whole full-time job, right? Building all these things in the hope that eventually, somewhere down the line, you may or may not make some type of money, right? Um, that the reason why it's so exhausting is because you're paying the builder's tax, like I just said, right? Um, you build a store, you build a brand, you build a following, you build a product, you build an audience, and the build is what kills the momentum. Okay. So, like I said, 94% of beginners quit during the builder's tax phase. They never even make it to the part where money changes hands. And every single thing you build or you try to build, or you try, it causes you to build. Okay. Building is the trap, especially for a beginner. Building a store, building a brand, building a following, building a funnel, building a website, building a product, building a freaking audience, right? These things delay a beginner in getting their first bit of money. All right. Now, like I said, the worst part isn't the money, it's the time, the nights, the weekends, the time away from family. And it's just really a soul-crushing process. All right. Now, I want you to say something out loud. I want you to say it's not your fault. All right. Because it isn't. The system was designed this whole way, and you were set up to fail. And we're going to show you why in a moment. All right. Because I'm going to show you why in a moment because people get rich. The people selling you this stuff, they get rich when you buy. Okay, they don't get rich when you win. And I'm not talking about some faceless company. I'm talking about the people you watch on YouTube. Okay, every day, the ones telling you to hustle harder, build your brand, the ones that are renting the Lamborghinis for the weekend to shoot a YouTube ad, the ones who tell you that if you just buy their next course, all right, you will unlock the secret. All right. And the reality is, folks, the ones who tell you that you just need to wake up at 4 a.m., grind harder, and do all this stuff, it is a lie. It's a calculated, profitable lie, and they know exactly what they're doing. They're not selling you a path to success. They are selling you the feeling of hope, and hope is a renewable energy. All right, so they're selling you the feeling of hope because hope is renewable. Once you buy something, it doesn't work, you'll buy something else because you'll feel like, okay, maybe this thing might work, maybe that thing might work, right? That hope. Like I said, hope is a renewable energy. Every time you fail, you need a new dose, and they're right there, right, with the next product and the next product and the next one. Okay, they need you to fail just a little, just enough to keep you buying. Because if they gave you the whole damn system, there'll be no reason for you to buy anymore. And that, my friends, is the dirty little secret. Okay, so they sell you hard things, right? Their model is every new problem requires a new product, a new tool. Every new tool costs you more money. So every time you buy it, right, they get paid again and again. But the truth is, um, you don't need to actually follow that model. We're going to be showing you the model that actually works. Um, all right. And trying to build is the actual trap. Building everything from scratch is the trap. So, for example, if you think about, a car, right? You wouldn't build your own car to actually get to work, right? Right. But these people in the online business world, they sell you the car parts, they give you a YouTube video, right? Showing you what a car looks like. They sell you a course on how to weld. They sell you a coaching program on how to wire an engine, and then they tell you to go build the whole thing yourself from scratch. Okay. Um, so of course you wouldn't buy it, right? You just build one, you just buy one that already runs, right? You don't need to know how the engine works. You don't need to know where the wiring goes or where the windows go or whatever it is. You just get in and drive the damn car. All right. But online, like I said, they sell you the car part, they tell you what to do manually. But what you actually need to do is you need to get into a car and put your foot on the accelerator and drive. All right. You don't need to build the car. You need to get into one that already runs. And it's the same thing, folks, online. All right. But before we dive into what that car looks like, what that vehicle is that's going to get you from point A, where you're currently struggling, to point B, where you actually get results, um, let's dive into my story real quick and we'll take it from there. All right. So not long ago, my wife, or rather my life, was an absolute crazy, crazy situation, right? I say that not to kind of exaggerate, but just so you understand exactly how far I've come. Um, from where I was. So I was working two jobs, phone shop on the weekends and in an office job Monday to Fridays. And I was burnt out, right? I wasn't chasing a Lamborghini. I just wanted some time back. I just wanted to breathe, right? And I was selling like £1,000 iPhones and I couldn't afford one myself, which was humiliating because it makes you feel like a second class citizen. It makes you feel like lesser of a person, right? But one Tuesday, I'll never forget, someone came into the shop, pointed at the most expensive iPhone and said, I'll take that one. Within a few minutes, paid in full and, left the actual store. Um, and what I realized was he and I were playing two totally different games. Okay. I was trading my time for money, but he was using time as a tool to make money, right? It's very different. So I was sacrificing my life just to earn some money. This is what we taught in school, right? We trade time, we get money. We sell our life and we get paid. But when you have the right system running, the system continues to make you money irrespective of your time. So you could be sleeping as long as the system's running, you're going to be making money, right? So I remember back then sitting in a dark room by myself, promising myself, I'm going to figure out what this guy was doing. How did he purchase the phone so effortlessly and made it look easy? What is the other parts available in life other than working a 9 to 5 job? All right. And all the time at work, I was constantly humiliated by my boss, constantly saying to me, do you know where the door is? You know where the door is? And it felt like, humiliating. It felt like I was replaceable. And it really acted as a catalyst to me wanting to succeed online. All right. Because hearing that stuff constantly and hearing and feeling as if you're replaceable, it starts to break your spirit. You start to believe that maybe you deserve to be treated that way, right? Maybe you deserve to be spoken to that way. You start to believe that some people are meant to be behind the counter and you wonder which side you're really on, right? And I thought this could not be my life. There had to be a way out. So I opened my laptop as you do, and I tried to find one. I literally tried everything. I bought the courses, watched the videos, drop shipping, affiliate marketing, yada yada yada, and nothing actually worked. All right, which a lot of you said you're in a single, you're in a similar position. And the reason why it didn't work, folks, all right, is because every single one of those things required me to build something. And that is the biggest issue for beginners. All right. And, I even invested in a coach from Scotland in the UK. And I put $5,000 back then on a credit card, money that I didn't have. Um, in the hope that maybe, he's going to show me the way out, right? But he didn't, he turned me into, a full-time, a web designer, graphic designer, page builder. And the secret literally was from him is build, right? Build a logo, build a WordPress site, build an autoresponder, set up some emails, a full-time unpaid job as a developer, copywriter, designer, right? And the outcome of that $5,000 was, zero traffic, zero leads, and zero sales. Who's invested in some type of coaching before? Let me know in the chat if you've invested in high programs like two, three, four, 5,000, 10,000, even God forbid, $20,000 programs. And the result is just a big, fat, ugly zero, right? Exactly. So you know exactly how I felt. And I remember having a very hard conversation with my mother back then where she just kind of sat me down and said to me, she had that look in her eye of pure pity, of sadness, and just said to me, this not working, stop focusing on this make money online stuff and just, maybe if you want to make more money, do more hours in the job, do an overtime or do something of that nature. And that, almost hit me like a ton of bricks. It was humiliating, to hear the person who loves you the most in the world tell you to give up on your dreams. All right. And it destroys you because they're saying you out of love, they're trying to protect you. And she was right that it wasn't working because the God honest truth was it wasn't working, right? But I made one last choice to stop being a builder and start being a buyer. Instead of building something new, I bought something that was already built. And I remember that one decision, as scary as it was back then, it literally changed everything for me. because I just plugged in and waited. I didn't build a website. I didn't write copy. I didn't figure out traffic. I plugged in, and a day later, I was making sales. All right, without building a single thing. And I had my first $500 day, and it was absolutely crazy. It really changed my whole belief around the way money is made on the internet and the belief around whether, it's possible and what's possible. Okay. And I remember running downstairs to tell my mother, I'm never going back to that phone shop again. And, I showed her, look, I've made this money. And it was more, not the $500, but it was more so that if I could make 500, I could make 5,000, I could make 50,000, I could make 500,000 and, effectively change the life of my family forever. It wasn't the money, it was what it proved. Okay, so building from scratch, folks, is the trap. If there's one thing that you're going to take from this presentation, is that building things from scratch as a beginner with zero experience, zero technical ability, is the trap. And for me, I finally escaped it because I didn't just make money that day. I became a different person. Who's ready to become that person? Let me know in the chat. Yep, awesome. Lots of you. So when I was building, I had nothing. The moment I stopped, I had everything. Building meant two jobs, no money, a boss who humiliated me, months of work, nothing to show for it. But when I plugged in, I had my first $500 day, then 5,000, then I retired my parents. And I remember the moment I slid a bank statement across the table and showed my dad and said, that's enough to pay off your mortgage, you're retired. I never seen him cry, but during those times, he literally broke down. Um, and that was one of the moments that I, thought just how powerful this whole internet thing was. And like I said in the slides, super grateful for not going back to his job. And it didn't just stop there because I was able to quit my job. In the background of the picture there, you can see I was able to generate $2 million. I was able to retire both my parents from their job. I was able to buy a house for my little sister, who did sadly pass away about 7 months ago. The house is now, empty, but it's mortgage free. But I guess that's life, right? But anyway, I was able to get a two comma club award, became a millionaire in my early 30s. And you can see the award from ClickFunnels, very difficult to actually achieve. And I got married. You can see that's my wife there. Traveled the world. And again, all this, I was able to do it not because I had a handout, not because I was super intelligent in some high-flying job and, worked my way up the corporate ladder. All of this was because of the internet. And the system that we're showing you in a moment. I helped charities across the world, literally donated over £100,000 in verifiable income to all types of charities across the world. So yeah, the difference was I stopped building, I started plugging in. That's the entire secret, folks. But what I'm going to be showing you today is much better than what I had during that time, during those days, because in those times and days, we didn't have AI. All right. Artificial intelligence, folks, is not just a chatbot that you talk to when you're bored, or, when you want to ask it, some random question, which although it's brilliant at, don't get me wrong, it's brilliant at answering basic questions, but it's so much more powerful than most people know, right? So the old way had one flaw, right? You still had to get traffic. Even if you didn't build the product, you still had to get the traffic. You still had to make the post on social media. You still had to show up, create content, field the algorithm, yada, yada, yada. That was the last thing standing between you and money in the old way, right? Now, the AI has changed the game because it makes the posts, it makes the videos, it finds the buyers. The last hard part, which was traffic, is gone thanks to AI. All right. And the thing that nobody else is talking about right now, um, is traffic. Every other system out there makes you run the ads, makes you post on social media or create videos or post images. Whereas with this one, it does it for you without your face, without your name, without your time. All right. So it creates short form videos. It posts it automatically to TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. All right. Without your face, without your name, without your time. And it posts it automatically. All right. So, you are completely invisible. Think about that for a second. Four of the biggest platforms in the world, billions of active users, and the AI is posting to all of them for you around the clock, finding buyers, sending them directly to your link while you sleep, while you eat, while you have fun with family. Who would like that to happen? Type in a seven, folks, in the chat if that is of any interest to any of you. Exactly, of course, right? Four of the biggest platforms in the world, billions of active users. It actually studies what's working, replicates it. So it's not just random things. It's really, really smart. And you just get your link. The AI is the engine, the platforms are the roads. You can see you have your link, you have the AI, you have buyers, and it turns into $1,000 commissions. Okay. Um, Now, before I show you the product, I need to tell you something important, something that makes, right now, tonight, this specific moment, the most important moment to be watching this. The AI traffic system is brand new. Most people have not heard of this yet. That means the traffic is cheap, it's free, the competition is zero. The people who move first are going to win the most. And right now, you are early, okay? And early is everything in this game. I know, what some of you might be thinking. You're thinking, Billy, is this already saturated? Did I miss it? No. You haven't missed it. You're not too late. You're early. In 12 months from now, everyone's going to be, clued up with AI. They're going to be a lot smarter with AI. So you're here right now before everyone else, which means you're on your, the time is right now. The window is open. Okay. So I've put it all into one box for you. Everything from the $5,000 mistake to the first $500 day to the AI clone, one complete done for you dashboard, one complete done for you system that you can log into. All right, I call it the 1K notification. This is not a course. You don't build anything. Everything's already done. Everything's already built. Everything is already running. You simply plug into it. Um, and imagine the morning after you joined, the AI worked all night. You didn't post, you didn't write emails, you didn't run ads. The money is already moving into your account. How would that feel, folks? How would that feel? All right, done for you every day without you. Not we set it up and you maintain it, nothing like that. Awake or asleep, working on holiday, the system runs. All right. Now, what that means is you just plug in and let it run, whether you're working on a holiday, whether you're paying attention or completely ignoring it. No building, no creating, no figuring things out, no late nights staring at a screen, wondering what is wrong. No talking to AI, begging it to give you the correct answer. So no building, no creating, no figuring things out, folks. No late nights. All right. Your command center, we give you a dashboard, all right, which you can log into that has everything. Um, Here's another analogy for you guys. Okay. So who knows how a microwave actually works? Who knows how it actually heats up the food? Because I don't, right? So, it's the same thing online. You don't need to know how the online business works. You just press the button. Same way as a microwave, right? You press the button. Same thing with this. You log in, get your link, push the button, the AI runs. You start getting traffic to your link, you start making money. Does that make sense, folks? If you can open an email and click a link, you already have all the skills um, that you ever need. All right. Now, some of you are probably thinking, but Billy, I'm bad at tech stuff. Let me use another analogy, folks. If you go to a nice restaurant, do you need to know how to cook the food to eat it? Of course not, right? You just order from the menu. The chef does the cooking, you do the eating, right? Tech skills are only ever needed when you're building things, which is why so many people struggle because everything online for beginners, aimed at beginners, usually expects the beginner to build, whereas this is the only thing that doesn't require you to build anything. All right, if you can open an email, click a link, you have the tech skills you need. I've had 70-year-olds do this, people who've never owned a laptop. You have more than you need to succeed. All right. But you might be thinking, I have no audience. Billy, what should I do? I have no followers. I have no audience. I have nobody to sell to. Well, you don't need to find any followers. The AI finds the audience for you. In fact, having no audience, folks, is actually an advantage because you're starting totally fresh. There's no bad habits. There's no old strategies to unlearn. All right. So I know you're probably thinking sounds good to be true. I thought the exact way, folks. All right, so let me show you what actually happens when real people have plugged into this. Real people, real results. All right, so you can see David. I think Claude, the system we use to build, has missed out his actual screenshot there. But he was able to get incredible results as a direct result of the system. He was able to make his first $1,000. He was able to get around 4,200 impressions, 84 visitors for free. All right. We'll show you another one. Hopefully that shows up. Cheryl. Okay, this one shows up. So a stay-at-home mom, terrified of computers, bought 3 courses in 2 years, never made a penny, and she was able, as a direct result of plugging into the system, she was able to make $896.95. That's a Facebook post from our private community. You can see $896 in real verifiable proof. Who would love to be like Cheryl? Type it into the chat if you would. Let me know, folks. Yep, exactly. So we have James, another one who made a $1,997 sale. You can see right there. Who wants to be able to pocket a $1,997 sale, folks? Type in 1997 if you want to make a sale like James did. Exactly, everybody, right? So, let's continue here. So different people, folks, different backgrounds, same results, okay? Because the system does the work for you. All right. So building from scratch, folks, is the trap. Who can see why building from scratch is the trap? Who can see that? Type in me if you can see that. If it makes sense, you're thinking, oh yeah, I can see why building from scratch is a trap because when I build a product, it wastes a tremendous amount of time. When I try to build a website, I get stuck after the first step. When I try to build an audience, it takes me forever. And when I try to build a logo, I need to learn all these skills. Yeah, AI has made building logos good, but still building is very painful, right? So close your eyes, folks, and just imagine 30 days from now what your life can look like. You've logged in, you've got your link, you let the AI run and get you traffic. You don't need to wake up to an alarm clock. You don't need to wake up to the boss telling you what to do. You don't need to wake up to the sound of, commuting. You wake up when you want, all right? You do what you want with your time, with your life, okay? You take the time. You don't need to rush, all right? You make your kids breakfast maybe, you're actually present, you're not stressed, you're not distracted, you're not thinking about work, you're just there, okay? You sit with them, you listen to them, you talk about their plans for the day. That's what's possible when an internet business is up and running and set up properly. All right. You open your laptop, you check, how much money you've made, and you see $1,000 payment smiling back at you. How awesome would that be, folks? Right? You've just 9:30, it's 10 a.m. in the morning, and the work's done. You've made $1,000. Right? What would you do for the rest of the day if that was your reality? All right, you'd probably hand in your notice and never, go back to work. You'd book the holiday without checking your bank account. You've earned this time to get in the right spot. Now, I know some of you are thinking this sounds too good to be true, so let me address that directly. Um, because the thought is completely understandable. If you've been burnt before, if you've been promised easy money and it wasn't easy, so your brain is protecting you. That is smart. But let me show you why this is different. Okay. Um, it's different because you don't need to build anything. All right. If you don't have time, again, this is perfect because you don't need to build anything. Only building things takes time. This takes 10 minutes to plug into. This AI has infinite time. It runs without limits. It doesn't sleep. It doesn't pick up the kids. It doesn't work a 9 to 5. It works 24/7 for you. And some of you might be thinking, is it going to get saturated? Well, there's billions of people looking for ways to make money on the internet. And, thousands of people could use this without, causing any dent to this opportunity. It's literally infinite demand. But some of you might be thinking, Billy, this sounds good, but what if it's me? What if I'm broken? Um, like I said earlier, guys, it's not that you're broken, it's that the systems, the gurus that were selling you these things, they were selling you hope. They weren't selling you an actual system to get you results because they want to keep you trapped on the hamster wheel of, getting more hope and buying more products. All right. So, you're not broken. The systems have failed you. They told you to build an engine, okay, from scratch, without the tools, without the knowledge, without the support, and of course you failed. Who wouldn't, right? If you asked me to build a car engine, I would fail. I don't know how to build a car engine, right? Same thing for most people building an online business, right? Um, so, like I said, we've removed all the parts typically, folks, where people fail. We've removed the build, we've removed the tech, we've removed the traffic generation, we've removed the copywriting, we've built the car, we started the engine. Now, all you need to do is get in and get results. All right. Now, money doesn't go to people who work hard. Okay. Although hard work has its, perks, it goes to the person in the right spot with the right opportunity. Hard work inside a trap is still a trap. Okay. So if you're working really hard at building a funnel that you have no experience of how to build, you're building something you don't know how to build, of course it's not going to work. All right. Now, some of you might be thinking, what will my partner say? You want to ask them, what will they say when you show them $1,000 payment? What will they say when tell them maybe they don't need to work again, when you book a holiday without having to worry about money? All right. You don't need to ask for permission, folks, to change your family's life. The choice is yours and yours alone. Put a yes in the chat if you're ready to see how to plug in today. Yep. All right. Awesome. Lots of people. So you have two choices, folks. That's kind of the reality right now. And I'm going to be totally honest with you about both of them. All right, choice one is you stay in the trap. Okay, you close this live presentation and you go back to your two jobs. You keep buying courses that don't work. 1 year from now, you're in the same spot, maybe worse, because now you know that there was a different way. Choice two is you stop building. You understand that building is a trap, and building without any experience, any knowledge, any prerequisites is obviously I'm going to build garbage, right? Like if I don't know how to build a house and I've had no training on how to build a house and I've had nobody show me how to build a house, if I build a house, I'm pretty sure the house is going to fall down, right? Because I don't know how to build a house. And it's the same thing on the internet, right? But when you stop building and you just buy a house, right? That's built by a professional, it's going to stand there for, maybe a few hundred years. It's the same thing online. You plug into a system that's done for you. The AI drives the traffic for you. And when traffic goes to a page that makes money, you wake up to $1,000 notifications. And that's exactly why you came here tonight. Um, all right, so I want to show you what you've been waiting for. So keep a running total in your head as I go ahead, because by the time I'm done, this will be the most obvious decision you've ever made. So first thing that we're going to give you folks is you get to keep 100% of every sale. All right, you're never going to have to pay the builder's tax again. Um, because we give you the system, all right, and you keep 100% of it. You never split your profits with anyone. Let me explain exactly what this means, because this is where most people get ripped off. In most programs, you do all the work, you get the sale, and then the guru takes 50, 60, 80% of the money sometimes. They treat you like an unpaid salesperson. But with this particular opportunity, you own the transaction. When $1,000 payment comes in, you keep the entire payment. Not 500, not 200, you keep the entire payment. How does that sound, folks? And that's got a $4,997 value. That's the value of owning your own income stream, folks. That sound good? That you keep the full 100%. All right. We do not take a cut. We do not charge a transaction fee. It's your money. You've earned it, folks. Every single penny. If you were to buy that right to earn $1,000 per sale on the open market, folks, it would cost you, well over $4,997. All right. The next thing that we give you folks is the never write copy again sales machine. All right. So everything is pre-built. The pages, the checkout, the emails, all written, proven, tested. We paid the copywriters. We built the funnels. We used our experience. We tested it with our traffic. We proved everything would convert. You never stare at a blank screen. Again, good copywriters, they charge tens of thousands of dollars. All right. To build a single sales funnel costs thousands of dollars. You get the exact same pages. You never have to write a single word. So that's all done for you, worth $2,997. That's what a professional writer charges to build this, but we've already built the sales machine for you, the 1K notification sales machine. Who wants that? Let me know in the chat if anyone's thinking, I want this. This sounds good. I want to get paid $1,000 over and over. The next thing, folks, is you get the hands-free uh, traffic system. Every single day, the AI creates posts, puts them online for you without you touching it. So you never have to pay for ads or spend hours grinding on social media. It works 24/7, never takes a day off, never asks for a raise. And if you look at the total value of getting free traffic per year running for you every day, you'd be looking at around $5,964. All right. So traffic is the lifeblood of any online business. Without traffic, folks, you have nothing, okay? But getting traffic the old way is a nightmare. You either have to spend hours every day creating content, begging for views, or you have to risk thousands of dollars in Facebook ads, hoping that they don't ban your account. The AI solves this completely because it works 24/7. Like I said, it doesn't get tired, it doesn't ask for a raise, it just relentlessly finds buyers, traffic, sends them to your link. All right. Okay, and the fourth thing, folks, is you get the command center dashboard where you can see your traffic, your stats. You can control everything from that platform live and ready the moment you log in, worth $1,997 today. There's no guessing, no spreadsheets, no confusion. The dashboard alone is worth thousands of dollars. And yeah, it's available to a limited number of folks. Now, if we add up everything we just mentioned, it's got a retail value of over $15,000. And I haven't even told you about the bonuses yet. Okay, you get bonus number one, which is the 1K playbook, where we show you how to get your first $1,000 payment in worth $497. You get bonus two, which is the 10K a month blueprint, where we show you how to scale to $10,000 a month worth $997. You get the live Q&A with me every single week, Tuesdays, 6 p.m. Eastern for an entire year worth $24,000 in yearly coaching. You get it completely free. You can attend if you want. You can miss some of them if you want. You get the recordings as well. I'm helping you directly, me personally. Bonus four, you get one-on-one, 7 days WhatsApp support available to you with our head coach. This is not a ticket system. This is not an email system. You get access to a real person on WhatsApp. You can message, and most $5,000 programs don't have a one-on-one WhatsApp person, but you get it completely free with this opportunity. So if we add everything up, folks, you get the opportunity to keep 100% of every sale worth $997. That's worth $4,997, but you get paid up to 1,000. You get the never write copy sales machine, funnel, system, business set up for you worth $2,997. The hands-free AI traffic dashboard worth $5,964 a year. The command center where you can log in and see everything, plug everything in, one click. You get the subtotal of everything, $15,000 plus the bonuses that we mentioned, the live Q&A, the WhatsApp, the 1K playbook, the 10K a month blueprint, total value over $40,000, folks. All right. That's $40,000 in total value if you were to go out there, spend a year's time, effort to build all of this yourself. All right. But if you were to build this yourself and you didn't have any experience, just the things, the tools needed to build certain things would cost you over 2,000. Things like sales page builders, content tools, posting tools, copywriting things, traffic coaches, and building the whole thing yourself. Um, but would it be worth 2,000, folks, to get your weekends back? If all this did was, give your weekends back to you and help you see $1,000 payments, would it be worth $2,000, guys? Of course it would, right? But I'm not charging you 40,000, folks. I'm not going to charge you even 2,000. All right. Um, you guys can get in for just 997, folks. And the reason why is because I want to give you that opportunity, folks, of seeing the other side. All right. So you can get in today for 997. Who's in? I'll give you the link if you're in. You get 100% of every sale as well. So every sale you make, you keep 100%. Single sale and you've made your money back. If you want the link, folks, let me know. I'll just double check I have it ready here and I'll drop it into the chat. So if you want access, if you want the link, let me know and I'll drop in the link into the chat. What's going to happen, folks? You're going to get taken to a page that looks like this. All right. You can see the proof at the top here again of the $1,000 payments coming in. All right, and then you can either do 997, a one-time payment, or you can go with the two payments of 597, split 30 days apart, and then you can kind of recap some of the stuff we went through. You can recap the stuff you're going to be getting on the page as well. So if you scroll down, where are we? All right, the commission license, the done for you sales machine, the traffic clone, the plug and play dashboard, the fast action bonuses as well. Total value $40,000 you can get in for 997. And yeah, you can see everything right here, folks. And of course, if you don't make your first sale, we'll not just send you your money back, we'll give you double your money back. All right. But yeah, you can break it into two payments of 597 or a single payment of 997. Who's in? If you're in, let me know. I'll give you the link. This is limited at the moment, folks, as it's a brand new opportunity, a brand new program. But if you want in, type in a one or type in which option you're going to be going for. If you go for the 997, type in 997. If you're going to go for the 597, type in 597 into the chat. I'm going to give you the link in a second. So on your marks, get set, folks. I'm going to tell you where it is you need to go. Let me know in the chat. This is the link where you need to go, folks, is 1knotification.com/go. I'll just drop the link into the chat. You should be able to click on it and you should be able to go ahead and check it out. All right, and lock in your spot before it is too late. All right, so let's go back to the screen here. Let's go to share screen. And here we are. All right, so Willie says 997, Barbara says, okay, so the link is in the chat, folks, 1knotification.com/go. All right. And just to be clear, folks, this is not for everyone. Okay, this is for people who are ready to plug in. If you want to carry on building things from scratch and you want to sit there figuring out tech all day, then by all means, you can, just stay stuck, okay? Or if you're ready to follow the three simple steps and that system run for you, if that's you, then you know what it is you need to do. You need to rush over to 1knotification.com / go and lock in your spot. All right. Now, the price is not the problem, folks. The price is proof. Okay. Every $47 course you've bought has got you nowhere, right? This one is the one that actually gets you results. All right. Um, Now, let's think about what happens if you do nothing. All right. You are literally gonna pay money, folks, in remaining stock. All right. So every day you're not earning $1,000, okay? That means it's costing you $1,000 to stay where you are, folks. Every day that you are not earning $1,000 means it's costing you $1,000. All right. Um, all right, so if you want to stay comfortable, do know that you're going to lose hundreds of thousands of dollars. Or alternatively, you could pay the 997 by going to 1knotification.com / go and lock in your spot. You can either get in for two payments of 597, split 30 days apart, or you can save yourself a further $200 when you go for the one-time option of just 997. Amatullah says, do we have the type? Yep, you can, or you could just resell our program and get $997 per sale. All right. So a year from now, folks, you'll either still be tired, still be stuck, still be watching other people get their $1,000 notifications, or you'd actually be getting results yourself. Um, it's totally up to you which option you're going to choose. You also get a double your money back guarantee, so there's literally nothing to lose and every single thing to gain. Simply plug in, follow the steps, and you should get your first $1,000 payment within 14 days. If you don't, we'll send you your money back. Like I said, we could even send double your money back. Um, so it depends on how many visitors, Teresa, come to your link. That determines how many sales you make. If you get a lot of visitors, you could make a lot of sales. All right. So I'm so confident this will work for you folks that we are willing to take all the risk. Um, all right. So the moment we leave, folks, the price is gonna go to $1,997. If you want in, now's the time to go over to the URL, which is 1knotification.com / go. It's at the bottom of the presentation as well. Um, Yep. So like I said, the price doubled from 997 to $1,997 the minute we come off. So if you want to get in, now's the time to get in. Yeah, once you log in, folks, once you make payment, you'll get access to create your account. You'll have access to the dashboard where you can have your unique link. And then you have the AI as well set up so you can start getting traffic. Every day you wait, folks, is a day someone else has the opportunity to take your money. All right. You could be earning the $1,000 commissions, or you could have someone else, or you could let someone else, make the $1,000 commissions. They can just see right here. I'm going to put this up on the screen right now to show you that the system works. And if it works for me selling it, it'll work for you as well. All right, so we'll just show you a screenshot right now of a payment that came in. So congratulations to whoever just jumped in. Let's just put this up on a whiteboard here. So this just came in right now, folks. Let's open up a whiteboard. All right, so you're going to put this up on the screen. And one second, start a whiteboard. All right, here you go. So this one just came in, guys. So this is limited. We don't have unlimited spaces available. You can see the payment just came in. So who wants, this is a payment right now. Who wants this to happen for you? Who wants that to happen for themselves, folks? Let me know in the chat. You saw the $1,000 payment, right? So this is, I've been talking about this with you guys for the best part of 57 minutes. And some of you might have been a bit skeptical. You might have thought, hang on, does this work? Is this real? I'm unsure. Um, I don't know if this is something that's genuine, but now you're seeing it full circle. All right. Now imagine you being on the receiving end of this $997 payment and keeping 100% of it, right? So literally, you're not giving me a penny. You buy into the system, and then you get to keep 100% of it. Who wants that to happen for themselves? Because I can tell you it's an amazing feeling and the feeling never gets old, right? Even though I showed you guys a video earlier of receiving dozens of $1,000 payments, it just never gets old. Who wants to experience that feeling? Type in a one if you do, folks. You can either experience the feeling or you can sit on the sidelines. It's totally up to you. Either way, it's up to you, folks. So let's go back to the keynote. And where are we? Okay, here we are. All right. Um, let's continue here. Let's go over um, to the final slide. So you can see a recap, folks, of everything you're getting. All right, you can see you get the opportunity to keep 100% of every $1,000 payment. You get the sales machine done for you set up. You get the traffic system set up. You get the command center where you can log in and control everything from. You get the 401k playbook. You get the 10K a month blueprint. You get the weekly live calls every Tuesdays. You get the one-on-one WhatsApp support. So everyone who purchases, our team will be reaching out to all of you one-on-one as well to make sure you're set up. Um, and yeah, the link where you need to go is 1knotification.com/go. We're going to be letting in four more people. All right. So we had five spots. One has been taken. And yeah, it's now or never, folks. Okay. It's now or never, folks. Any questions, do let me know. We'll be going through some of the questions here in a moment. Four more spaces left, about 20 minutes on the clock. Um, So you can get in for two easy payments of 597, or if you want, you can pay the full-time payment and save yourself an extra 200 bucks. And you can